Patrick's Day. Don't know how many of you are out there feeling the joy and the luck in the air. Maybe some of you celebrate, but nonetheless, I've got my green on and blending in with the blue of the newest product release we have today, the VeloCycle. Super excited that we're able to give one of these away today. So if you can let me know where you are listening or watching from, one of you is going to be a lucky winner, and we're going to ship the one of these units to you today after you listen in and participate in some of the interchange that we're going to do. So anyhow, we are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. And so coming in from all different directions. Just to be clear, I did a launch last week, or did a kind of a review last week, and there were a lot of people that were, I'll just say, a little frustrated because I couldn't see who they were on the screen. So when I'm casting all of this, I'm actually not directly on Facebook itself. So some of you might not have a face or a name with your Facebook profile. So if I'm not able to answer you by name, it's truly an apology on my end because I don't get to see a name. But nonetheless, I can see everybody starting to pop in here. So we've got Tampa Bay with Lanny, and we've got Lois from Alabama, and we're starting to continue to have more and more rolling in here. So super excited to see you guys. Anyways, I don't want to stand in front of the beautiful product, but this is a new exercise bike, and this is my new favorite toy that Lifepro has put out. It has a very unique feature in that it makes it a little more challenging than some of our other exercise bikes, but yet still poses the same size for trying to save a little space in your home or your apartment or condo or wherever it is you're at. And I'm seeing Troy coming in we're seeing Chuck coming in. Chuck, you got to win not too long ago, if I remember right. We've got Denver, we've got Illinois, we've got North Carolina. So yes, so we're all over the place. We are going to be casting all this all day. So if you happen to not be able to stick around for this one for the winner, and you want to come back and listen in, I think we're doing another couple of hours after this. So we'll be talking about this throughout the evening. So if you're wanting to take another opportunity to win, if you don't win right now, definitely chime in a little bit later with Debbie or with Roseanne, because we're going to give away a couple of these today. Anyhow, we've got several different bikes that we have released in the past. This one is definitely the most complex in options and features, but it also, if you're looking for something besides a spinning bike or like a flywheel bike that you're wanting to use at home to provide you a total body workout, you heard me, total body. And I'm not talking about the exercise handles that we have on some of the others, but you're going to use your whole core through here, especially in order to get this to move, because it has what's called a galloping feature on it. And so there's a movie when we were recording this not too long ago, we were doing the orientation, doing the commercials and stuff. We had so much fun doing this because we didn't know anything about it. And I get to do a lot of testing on this stuff as they come out, here as we are today on St. Patrick's Day. But one of the funniest things that we experienced with this one was trying to get the feeling of how to actually get up and gallop on it. And it reminds me of a movie from the 1980s. If any of you have seen 16 Candles, I believe it's 16 Candles, there's a scene in which the Asian guy and his new girlfriend from the school dance are on this exercise bike, and it's like chiming up and down, and they're both having a really, really fun time. And it's probably one of the most comical scenes I've seen in a 1980s movie, especially from the Brat Pack. But anyhow, this bike was this was the first that reminded me of that. And so we had an absolute blast trying to use this bike, but it is a total body experience. And so what I mean is, if you're just wanting to use lower body, you can use lower body. If you're wanting to use just the upper body, you can actually just use the upper body. But when you come along and you're wanting to create this galloping feature, just like riding a horse, the bike kind of flows up and down as it's coming in and out. So I'll demonstrate that here in a second. Truly a total body experience. But what's really cool is it has 8 different levels on the pedal tension knob. So you can start out really easy, and you can work your way up to as hard as you want it to be. The only disadvantage that I find on this one, as compared to a lot of our other bikes that we've released, this one weighs a whopping 56 pounds. So this is the heaviest bike that we have ever used or produced for the convenience of saving space and being able to do a lot of different a lot of different actions, whether it's total body with resistance bands, whether it's you know, being able to do resistance bands from the legs, from down low. This does not have any resistance bands on it. It is all enclosed in the feature of being able to bring the upper body with the handles with the lower body of the legs together. So we're going to talk about that. Anyhow, it does have an onboard computer. And so so I don't make you all sick, I'm going to try and turn this around so that you can see a little bit of it, because it is easy to pick up and turn around. And it does fold up, but it doesn't fold up really flat. But anyhow, on here on our computer, we have a black button that will push through. So when it's actively running, it's going to go through 7 modes of metrics, trying to keep track of your fitness your biomarkers. And so the 7 different features that you're going to notice is going to be what's called a scan motion, which means it's going to blink through all the different metrics that you're trying to keep track of, so that you don't have to constantly push the button to see where you're at in the programming. It keeps track of speed in repetitions per minute, and it keeps track of speed in miles per hour. So 2 different speed metrics. We have a metric of time. We can keep track of how far we're going by distance. We can keep track of how many calories we're burning, but I want to give you a little bit of caution on that. When it comes down to calories being burnt, that is it is a generalization. It's an estimate for each and every person, but it's not going to be 100% reliable. So please, if you are keeping track of calories in versus calories out, make sure that you are not being dependent on our numbers for 100%, or let's just even say 90% accuracy, because it is probably not going to be a 90% accurate. In fact, what I highly recommend you do is not so much worrying about the caloric expenditure on the control panel, but wearing yourself a wearable tracker in the form of either a chest strap, or there are some new biomarkers that you can put on your wrist, and the blinking light will keep track of, you know, how much energy it takes to process through your body and back around again. The Apple Watches have calorie trackers on it. There's so many different products that are out there that you can keep track of your calories based on how tall you are, your current weight, your current age, your current activity levels. And some of you might be able to track all the way down to the very specific of your exact metabolic rate and your heart rate on a 99% accuracy level. So that being said, when I hear a lot of people saying, I'm buying this for weight loss and I'm keeping track of my calories and I'm working really hard, but I'm not losing any weight, do not rely on the calorie counter in order to try and lose weight or keeping track of energy expenditure. It's just a general guideline, okay? Now, we also have the pulse. And so right here, we have these silver electrodes that when you place your hand on those electrodes, you'll actually see an active heart rate come up. Now, again, it's not going to be as accurate as if you're actually wearing a live strap around your chest, or if you're wearing a strap on your wrist, because that is actually funneling energy in and out of you, whereas this is just sensing through whatever grip you're making with the handlebars. So I want to make sure that we're clear on that. All right. Okay, and then more importantly, it has what's called a backlit display or backlight display. So if you're using this at home and in a dim light, or it's at the end of the day, everybody's trying to wind down, it is whisper quiet. It's like really quiet. So you can use it, and it has a little backlight feature so that if you're wanting to see it without having the lights on, you don't have to blind everybody in the house in order to be able to do it. Or if you're, you know, if you don't like having bright lights on, but it does have the light display here actually comes on so that you can see what you're doing. Now, it also has a reset marker on it so that if you're not wanting to keep consistent cumulative metrics over time, you can do a reset. Okay, so let's continue on with all these wonderful features. If we're looking at the dimensions of the bike are 40.5 inches by 24 inches this way, and then it will fold up to 56.2 inches, okay? So 56.2 inches, 40.5, 24, okay? When we fold it, this is where this gets a little tricky. When we fold it, and so what happens, as we were trying to figure this out, because there we go. So as we lift, so we're going to lift up, and then there's a little knob down here at the bottom, and this folds down. It all comes together a little bit more compact, just that fast. But if you have carpet, as I'm finding on the turf, when you go to try and roll it, I'm going to show you, it does not go very far very fast without trying to unfold itself. So you're going to want to make sure if you're trying to roll it around, it rolls super smooth on a hard surface, but on when it comes onto the turf, it's really, really complex. So carpeted areas on a rug is going to be a little bit harder to move it around. When it comes to assembly, I actually created an assembly video with this bike several months ago. And I'm going to be honest with you. There have been several bikes that Lifepro has released that they're only supposed to take 15 or 20 minutes to assemble it. And then there are some that have taken me almost 2 hours because the directions are a little more complex the first time. This one came together pretty fast. So one thing to look forward to is when you receive your VeloCycle, you're going to get access to an orientation video with me teaching you how to put it together piece by piece. And you don't have to be a gentleman or a woman who is very tool savvy, because I am so not tool savvy. But for those who are not used to using tools with their hands, I give you a lot of great little tips and tricks about how to maneuver the bike so that you can use your body in the most convenient way without working too hard to put things together. So as far as assembly goes, anybody is capable of putting it together, minus, a grade school kid. Although some grade school kids might be able to do it, but I would not ask my fifth grader to do this. But senior citizens, young couples, and everybody in between, it doesn't make any difference. It's really not that hard to put together because the pieces come really easy, already put together part of the way, and you just have to piece together the major components so that that it doesn't come in this ginormous box. It's already coming in a big box. That being said, again, it weighs 56 pounds. So when you get your box delivered on your front porch, and it will be a big box, make sure that you have somebody who can help you carry it in, because I want to say the box is almost like 4 feet wide by 6 feet tall. It's a very large box. Okay, so yes, so you're going to find our build video on YouTube when you receive your product. And so when it comes to assembly, super easy to do. You're going to also find an assembly video or an orientation video on how to adjust and how to move it around, how to work through the different control panel here. I didn't want to continue to move my camera around to make y'all dizzy. So we're going to wait for you to allow to see that video because it was custom crafted just for all of you several months ago with me playing around with it and keeping all of your ease of mind as an intention of making things super easy for you once you get your product. So that's that. As you can see, I don't have the green juice. I have some red juice. It's my jungle juice. But we got a bottle holder here. So if you want to carry your bottle of water, because we do want to promote healthy hydration, that's awesome. So as you saw, this folds down right here on the seat back. And then our adjustment knob for the actual seat height is right here at the base. So you don't have to bend over, but what you'll do is you'll rotate it to counterclockwise, to lefty loosey, righty tighty. So you're going to rotate it to the left, not all the way though. You don't want it to come all the way out. You're going to be able to pull on the knob and it'll actually click out without coming all the way out as a screw. And it easily slides up and down, as you can see. And so you're going to find whichever level is convenient for you. You're going to rotate clockwise, righty tighty, and then just make sure that it's locked and loaded and ready to go. Your tension knob, in order to adjust the intensity of the bike, is right here on the front, and it clicks super easy from one extreme to the other. Again, 1 is just a stroll in the park, and 8 is climbing up a hill. So we're truly giving you the best of how complex it can be or how easy it can be. On the feet, on the bottom, you're going to find that there are non-slip. I'll move this out so you can see it. But down here, these are levelers, so you can rotate them as needed to be able to keep the bike level so that you don't have to put a washcloth or a piece of foam or put something underneath of it in order for it to sit completely level, because we all know the way the construction and how things age and how things shift, that not all surfaces are flat. And I don't know about you, but one of my greatest pet peeves is getting on a unit and you can just feel it weeble wobbling from one corner to another. It absolutely sucks. So this one, we have provided you with the adjusters. On the pedals, you have pedal straps that conveniently can be taken off, or they can be adjusted so that they can really clamp down on your toes, which is not such a bad thing on this one, because the more support you have, the more you can really get into that galloping feature. And so without further ado, I keep talking about that feature, but I haven't demonstrated it yet. So let's get on here and go for a little stroll. All right. So right now, I'm just leaning back, and like I said, I'm kind of on the lowest intensity possible, so level 1. And like I said, what's great about the VeloCycle is you can use it for strength training, for cardio, because it has this great galloping feature. And when I say galloping, it's similar to galloping like a horse or galloping on a horse. As you can see, I'm pulling too, and yep. And so, and when I pull up, I can stay up here and I can slowly move my way back down. And we can pull up and we can slowly drop it back down, okay? So the galloping feature is going to require you to really work and tone muscles in your calves, in your thighs, in your booty, in your abs, your chest, your back, and your arms. So yes, total body, truly. But as you can hear, wait, you can't hear. Even if I take my AirPods out, you can't hear, because the ultra quiet flywheel and cushion seat means a really soft, quiet ride, and it is a cushy seat. Some of the other seats that have been on some of our X bikes or some of our other X bikes in the past are rock hard solid, so you have to almost put another butt cushion on. This one actually has a little bit of an upgraded seat on it. Okay, so 8 different levels, easily adjustable. Low level is a leisure ride, high level is a steep hill. So let's go up that hill. And I'm gonna go, right now we're in 5. And so slowing way down. Okay, and so you can pull from the chest, we can pull from up high. So we're getting more triceps. If we go low, we're getting biceps more than triceps. And of course, in order to get the galloping feature to work, we have to use our whole body and lift up and then push away. So it's really cool how it works. Now, I want to change my seat height, because if I change my seat height, it changes the positioning of where I'm at in relation to the control panel and the pedals, which means I work muscles a little different. So if you wanted to make this a little more interesting, based on your height, you can work to either shorten your lever or lengthen your lever just by adjusting the seat height, so long as you can get on. And so see, I'm still able to, so I adjusted the seat height by 2 levels, adjusted by 2 levels. Whew, gonna go back down a notch because the resistance is real. And we can just lean forward, pedal away this way. I'm gonna get a lot more of my butt, my hamstrings, and my calves if I'm riding in this position. If I'm riding back in this position, we don't get as much back here. We get a lot more of the thighs on the front, the quads, our shins, and then our abs just trying to stabilize. But let's say we're wanting to go all of it. So as you can see, I'm in a much more bent position. So my knees and my hips are almost at a 90-degree level, which actually makes it a lot more physical on my lower legs. A lot more physical. And you can actually feel this a lot more in my back. So that being said, you just kind of have to find the magic seat height. This one has 6 different levels. I was on level 2 to end, and I'm going back to a level 4 right now. So let's see what kind of questions we have. Is the cycling smooth? Absolutely, yes. It is super smooth. I really don't feel like there's the flywheel is really, it's a magnetic resistance flywheel, and it's really, you can hear me huffing and puffing. That's how awesome it is. You really don't feel, because I totally understand what you're saying, and wondering how smooth it is. Some bikes that you do, especially, and like I said, you can do recumbent on this, you can do the bike leaning back, or we can do more of an upright bike. And yes, sometimes you don't feel the same intensity all the way around the wheel. I'm on a level 2 right now, and this feels really, really good. So Let's go all the way up to 8. Woo! Yes, so driving with the toes up, heels down on this one, and we're still able to ride the pony. Love it. So if we go up, stay up here for a little bit. This is actually really hard to do. And yes, it is smooth, but my calves are already burned out. Wowzers. Could you imagine the B3 BFR bands with this? I'm gonna have to try that later because I've not tried that yet. And I'm in really good shape, but man, my heart rate, I can feel my heart rate is rising. So I'm in that soft twitch, oxidative moment right now. When you get the BFR bands on and you exhaust that, it's all human growth hormone fat shredding in that moment. So you don't even have to lift weights because it is total body. And as you can hear, I'm huffing and I'm puffing. Whew, we got to breathe out, right? So, so many great features on this. And like I said, we've released a lot of different bikes. The only challenge with getting on and off is these convenient handlebars right here sit on the sides. So you have to be able to get inside of them. But the good news is if you really didn't want the handlebars on there, you can take the handlebars off down at the bottom. But it's really quite convenient to have those on because as you're trying to go up the hill or trying to pull to or you're leaning back, you can actually push down onto the bike handles and it gives your legs and your back and your butt more, gives it all more power. Okay, how much weight does it hold? 242 pounds is the max capacity. So if you're over 240 pounds, you're going to be pushing the threshold. The thing that I would be concerned about, like I said, not so much of whether you are of appropriate weight or not, is if you can actually get on it from entering through the front, because these handlebars, I'll bring the bike closer to you guys so you can see this. These handlebars, you have to be able to get in and around them. And so if you are carrying a lot of extra weight and you can't lean back to get on the seat because the the handlebar goes up your rear. So and again, this folds down. So if you decide that you don't want this part on there, you don't have to leave it sitting upright. You can actually remove this. There's a screw on here to remove that if you choose to. So there's a lot of different adjustments that you can make to modify it for your own liking. Big booty won't work. Well, I don't know about that because I like to think that I got a big booty. Big booties are the in thing, sometimes. So big booty can work. You just have to think a little creatively as to how you're going to get around this handle right here. So if you're wanting to get on it and this handle poses a problem to you, just remove the handle from the bottom when you're assembling the bike. I'll show you this. Underneath, when you assemble this, putting the handlebars is one of the early steps. So you can actually remove the handlebars and ride the bike with just the saddle and the adjustable back on its own if you really had to. That is an option. I've not tried that before, but I know in putting the assembly together, that was one of the processes that I remembered along the way because we actually, if you don't go in the order, you can't go to order when you're doing the assembly. You have to make sure and go in order or it causes a big delay in going backwards to try and correcting it. So really, really cool bike. Okay, now it is St. Patrick's Day. And what do we know about St. Patrick's Day? It's the day of luck, right? So one of you is going to be lucky enough to win a new VeloCycle, but I want to know what you are doing at your home or in your business in order to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Do any of you have children who have made a leprechaun trap? This would be the first year that my child has not made a leprechaun trap. And I asked her this morning, I said, Zoe, you did not make a leprechaun trap. What is up with that? Because I'm used to listening for the leprechaun to stroll through and sneak through our house and leave the candy in hopes that they'll leave me a little bit of extra candy as well. And what normally happens is the leprechaun pees in her toilet and sprinkles its leprechaun dust in her shower, like which would be known as green glitter. And so the rule in our house is if you create the theme, whether it's Santa or his elves or reindeer, or the Easter bunny or the leprechaun, and they leave a mess, you get to clean it up. So, and of course, we got to talk about the elves, during the winter. So when it comes to Zoe, she did not want to clean up the glitter in her shower because the leprechaun sprayed glitter everywhere in her shower last year, and then peed in both toilets neon green, and wrote all over her mirror and trashed the place with leprechaun toilet paper, and then of course left her lots of candies, in trying to experience the little house that she made her leprechaun. So much fun. These days are a lot of fun. St. Patrick's Day is one of my favorite holidays, not because I'm totally not Irish, but just getting into the festivities of it. Some of you might have had a green smoothie. Some of you might be going to drink a green beer later. If you do, you're going to need this in order to detox afterwards, because green beer is probably some of the worst for you. um, yeah. And so if you have a leprechaun movie or a leprechaun themed book, the other thing that we always like to do on St. Patrick's Day with my kiddo is we like to read theme concept stories. So if there's a leprechaun storybook, or if there's a leprechaun video or movie that's out, we always chime in on doing some of those each and every day. And those of you who have grandchildren or children or are teachers or are around, excuse me, young children, like I said, she's in 5th grade, but today she's not feeling so hot, so she just really didn't care to serve the leprechaun a trap. But I think that when we have these kind of days, it makes it a lot more fun and involved in order to see how the world is through the eyes of a child. And one thing, I was just talking to one of our backstage producers. It's been a crazy busy week for me because I'm contributing a chapter to a book that I'm co-authoring. So I'm actually a co-author of a second book. I already have one book available. Now I'm getting ready to release a second book in the summer. And so what the theme of some of this writing that I submitted is experiencing the magic in yourself and trying to be your own superhero. So it's about being able to do simple things in your life to make your life better, to being the best version of yourself that you can be. And part of that is learning how to dream and dreaming really big outside the box. And I don't think a lot of us dream and have fun anymore because everything's always so serious. And why do I share this to you during the middle of a launch for this product? Because part of what we want to do to become better people, we want to have a specific plan. We want to know, like, how many hours a day, how many minutes per hour, what should I be taking? What should I be eating? How many hours should I be sleeping? What supplements should I be taking? And so a lot of my book contribution is about understanding that you have everything that you need right inside of you already. If you tend to not compare yourself to somebody else or worry about why somebody else is being super successful and you're not. And just trying different things that might work better for you, not so much of looking at the number on the scale, but trying to actually find something that truly makes you feel good and feel whole from inside, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. So the question is, if I were to tell you that you're going to have to, if you want to lose 25 pounds and you're wanting to do that in like less than 2 months, but you have to go on a calorie restriction diet for 1,100 calories per day, and you have to exercise 45 minutes per day, and you don't really have any extra time because you're already strapped with things not within your control. You're already stressing that it's impossible to do something that actually is possible. And so with the VeloCycle, you have the opportunity to use it for stress relief. So in other words, if you're going to use the VeloCycle, don't worry about whether you can do a hardcore workout or how often you're doing a workout. Don't be feeling guilty if you don't use your unit each and every day, but making sure that you're doing it because it just feels good. If you've got sore joints or you're depressed, exercise is one of the best things you can do in order to combat depression and mental health challenges and anxiety without having to take a pill for it or without having to wait for your doctor, because right now doctors are busy, right? So just having different gadgets and gizmos at home without having to hire a personal trainer or physical therapist or a coach in order to teach you exactly what you have to do, dialing in dot for dot, and just enjoying life, right? So that magic is within all of you. You just have to be willing to find it by doing what makes you happy. And if you can do what makes you happy, then your life will naturally get better because our body thrives when it's happy. But we have to make sure that we're being sensible about what makes us happy. So if pizza makes you happy, you can't eat pizza every single meal, every single day, and wonder if it's going to make you happy because it's going to make you blow up, right? So you have to take some of that into a different tone. And at the same end, if you think that exercise is going to make you happy, I learned this the hard way, so I'm telling you from my experience. The more you exercise in one bout, the sicker you become because it pushes your cortisol levels through the roof after 20 minutes. And so when our body experiences a surge in cortisol levels from exercise, from steady state exercise, not weightlifting, but steady state cardio exercise, our body actually swells and becomes more inflamed. And so we bloat, or we get, lymphedema, or we get peripheral edema, or we're tired and we're cranky and we're irritable. So there's just a lot of things that can actually cause more harm than good. So sometimes less is better, and that's different for everybody. So for me, I don't do any more than 30 minutes of exercise a day in the form of what we're doing right here. Weightlifting and resistance and meditation and stretching, totally different thing, because those actually calm stress hormone down so that your happy hormones can blossom out. But again, going back to using some of the Lifepro products, to being able to do that at home and by convenience, and not having to show up at the gym to meet a buddy, because if you're late, or if you happen to be running behind, or they aren't going to be there, then it gives you every reason to not actually go, and then you're just back in the same rut. So this takes up very little space. Get home and use it. But I want to know what you're going to do in your life, and what you're going to do to be happy, and what you're doing to celebrate St. Patrick's Day today, because of all days, it's about green glitter and sparkles and rainbows and gold coins, right? It can be about drinking green beer or green smoothies if that's what you're for. But at the end of the day, it's just recognizing that it is an official calendared holiday. And so we just have to reflect upon, what can I do to be fun today? And today I decided to wear green tie-dye looking stuff with my blue stuff, because blue is truly one of the most calming, happy colors of the spectrum of the rainbow. There's actually research on that. And so I have a lot of blue around me because blue makes me happy. So I decided to blend blue and green today. So what are you doing today to be happy, to release those happy hormones? And what are you doing to celebrate, St. Patrick's Day? And then last but not least, what do you need to do at home in order to find the magic within yourselves and to become your own superhero? Because when you compare yourself to somebody else, especially a friend, it steals your joy. It takes your joy away, because we don't understand what each and every person have gone through in their lifetime. And every decision we make and everything that we are metabolically, there's no two human beings that are anywhere comparable to the same. So we have to really be able to embrace ourselves and do things because it feels good for ourselves, and not because we want to be like somebody else. Although, if y'all want to be like me, I'm here to inspire you. I'm here to inspire and motivate you. And it's always flattering when somebody says, "Hey, I'd really like to have those pants, or I'd really like to have that massage gun, or I want to do the platform you're using because you look really good on it, and I want to look really good like you." That's that's called motivation and inspiration. So it's not about comparison. So let me check out some of these comments that are coming in. Yep, got to be able to clear that top bar. Okay. I love bright colors and playing with pups. Oh, I like puppies too. Yes. So Lifepro thinks, one of the things that I love about Lifepro is they are looking at so many different ways of how they can maximize your space, taking up little room by maximizing the opportunity and the experience of their products. And again, you don't have to follow protocol in doing 5 to 6 days of 20 minutes per day of exercise. You just get on it to get loose. So if you've had a total knee replacement, if you've had a total hip replacement, or you have torn an ACL, or you've sprained an ankle, get on it just to get the pedals flowing. Because back in 2005, I was involved in a car accident and suffered 8 spinal injuries, a head injury, and a bunch of other challenges. Fibromyalgia is something I still deal with. But the one thing that doctors told me to do was to rest and stay, limited in how I moved. And I decided after several months of not being able to walk that I was going to have to figure out a different way, because the doctor's way was not working for me, even though that was the protocol, right? So I had to find a different way to get to the end point, to being happy in my own life. And I went across the grain, and I did exactly what they told me not to, and I actually exercised. But the exercise that I did, believe it or not, was on a bike very similar to this. I would be sitting on the bike, and I would be leaning back, And this is how pathetic this was, you guys. So if I'm leaning back and I'm like this, it was painful. Like I could only move about this fast, no joke, on a level of 1 because my body would not move. And so to now be able to do this and I'm pain free, it took a little bit at a time to actually be able to turn the computer on because I could not pedal hard enough or fast enough for the machine to even turn on, which is probably one of the most humiliating feelings that I remember ever experiencing in my recovery. But it took me 2 years to learn to walk up and down stairs again without having to use a narcotic pain pill. And so this style of bike is truly one of my favorites because if you don't have the strength to hold yourself up here, you don't have it. You know, you've just had a hysterectomy, you've just had a baby, you've just had some kind of abdominal surgery, you cannot hold yourself up. But my gosh, you can get on the bike and you can lean back and you can pedal, right? So you can don't worry about following the protocols or the directions or, and that goes same thing that goes with the platforms or our under the desk ellipticals. Find your own magic within yourself by playing because we do things all too seriously to not just play and enjoy life. Because what's the worst thing we're going to do if we play? Well, if we make a mistake and we screw up and we feel like that doesn't work for us, okay, it didn't work. We haven't really lost anything. It was an experience. So I tell people all the time when it comes down to understanding failure, we are not a failure if we don't lose the 5 pounds by following Amber's program. We are not a failure if we can't get up off the couch to even get on the bike. But what we do know is that we are learning what we need to be doing different to be better because what we are trying is not helping. So for me, I like to think that failing is all about learning and experience. And so if you can learn and experience and fail forward by finding your own way, by not having to be like everybody else, because let's face it, we're one in a trillion. I work on human bodies all day, every day with my hands and trying to take their pain away. And it is so fascinating to me how miraculous the human engine really is. It truly is an engine in itself. And so when I'm working on those people of all different sizes, I've got people that are under 100 pounds. I got people that are 400 pounds. I've got people that are 7 feet tall, and I've got people that are 4 feet tall. All different kinds of people, all different kinds of problems. But you know what is consistent? They all have the exact same body parts. We all have, for the most part, the same amount of bones, muscles, joints, organs, but the way that we are all put together and assembled and how we change and manifest and transition and transform is all so exclusive to yourself. So the protocols don't always really work. And it's just a general guideline to give you an idea of maybe which direction you can try to fail forward into your life because the same journey does not work for everybody. So as you get your VeloCycle or you get your new platform or whatever it is that you're working on, don't come down so hard on yourself if you don't experience the results that you're looking for. And when it comes to experiencing results, or I like to think change, when your body starts to change and transform different from where you started before you got on the bike or the platform, don't go looking for the scale. Don't go looking for the clothes. Pay attention. How does my body feel? Do I have more energy? Am I able to do more tasks around my house without feeling tired or hurting? Am I able to see less dimples in my legs? Because me personally, if I want less cellulite on my legs, I get on the platform a lot more because it eliminates and it helps to minimize cellulite by getting the connective tissue and the fascia moving. Um, so, you have to, if you go looking for a specific result and you are obsessed about that specific result, you miss all the magic that's actually taking place right inside of you because you can't get over the number on the scale or the number in the clothes. It took me about 9 months, almost a year, to lose 54 pounds. And I did a lot of it using the platform and the B3 BFR bands. And I got down to right around 155 from 200. And it took me maybe 9 months or less to do that. but it took me 3 months to lose an extra 6 pounds. 3 months to lose 6 pounds. But I felt really good trying to lose that 6 pounds because I wasn't trying. It just happened because I was happy and I was enjoying my life and I was celebrating what was going right instead of obsessing what wasn't happening by a number. So definitely embrace the magic that's already inside of you and find ways to have fun and be happy, especially on St. Patrick's Day. And without further ado, I'm going to look at these comments because I can see my computer is blowing up and I love it. So I always like to see what's here. Yes. So good job, Barbara. I'm so excited to see that. Okay. Yes. Don't ever give up because sometimes when we give up too soon, like we're just right over the edge of the hump, like we're just right there. And then we give up and we're just like a few steps from making it to the very top, right? Okay. Yes, that you got your platform. That's awesome. Okay, and the Rumble X. Oh, I love it, Delana. I love that. That is so cool. She uses her Rumble X as a step into the bed. You're recovering from an accident and experiencing many of the things you're talking about. Keep hitting walls with traditional protocols. Yes. Okay. So I don't know who this is because it just says Facebook user. Make sure and get your hormones checked by an integrated health practitioner. That is a huge, huge, huge thing that will hold you back. And I don't want to get into the hormone talk here because we've already done it before. But if you have suffered, I aged really fast. I actually went through menopause at the age of 27 because of a head injury. And so it took a lot of knowing where my hormone levels were and finding the right doctor, the right health practitioner to helping me to supplement in order for my body to be able to correct itself. Because the way I was going about it, my body was never going to correct on its own. It was just going to continue to spiral down into the rabbit hole and never to return. So make sure that you're finding the right people to help you. And if you are not responding well to what your physician is telling you and they won't change what they're telling you to do, they're like stuck in their ways, fire them. Find another doctor. I had to fire a lot of doctors in order to get my way because that's what I knew I needed. Oh, thank you, Kim. I love sharing my journey because I think God put me through it so I could share it to all of you. I love pink and purple hair because bright colors make me happy. Sarah, I'd love to see your pink and purple hair. That is so cool. I have a client and well, I actually have an employee and she says to me, Amber, what's the dress code? And I said, you just have to wear my shirt and appropriate, I don't want your butt hanging out, like no butt cracks out of the spandex. And she's like, so can I have purple hair? And I'm like, I don't care. Are you going to be a better practitioner, better clinician and doing better massages if you have purple hair? Because I could care less what color your hair is as long as you do your job. So it's whatever makes you happy because whatever makes you happy is different for everybody else. I was in PT, got bad knees and shoulder and have fibro, but my added Rumble X workout has helped so much. I don't function, guys, without being on my Rumble X at least once a day. I still suffer fibromyalgia today, but I don't hurt unless I don't move. So if I don't move after, more than 48 hours, if I sit at a desk a long period of time writing, or if I don't get enough sleep, or if I don't stay moving in a variety of different positions, if I don't get on my platform or get some kind of exercise in, my body hurts a lot more than if I actually am following my own management style in order to feel better. I know what my body needs, just like you guys have to experiment and figure out what your body needs. And I know so many of you are looking for different programs and workouts. If you have not already tapped into the membership portal, I think that they have a membership portal for Lifepro where there's a collection of videos that I have done over the years through YouTube that are a little bit more organized, and they've got some orientation videos there. I came out with a new app about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So if you actually go on to Apple or Android, you'll see an app called KKS Magic, MAGIK, or you can type in my name, Amber Kivett, and it'll pull it up. And we actually offer live classes on the platform 3 days a week. And they're pre-recorded as we are doing them live, and it's a one-on-one interchange. And they're all saved to that app with the right kind of approach. So if you're interested in other things there, and if we need to get into doing some bike workouts, I know Roseanne is starting to do some of the live bike workouts. It's not Peloton and it's not spinning bikes, but just having somebody guiding you and answering questions, but more importantly, just having somebody there that's going to be there to show up, that's requiring you to show up actually makes all the difference in the world. If I knew that people weren't sitting waiting for me to go live on Zoom at 9 a.m. on Monday morning to do a Rumble X workout, then I probably would lay around or would find something else that needs to be done instead of something that actually contributes to helping somebody else. So if that's of interest to you, you can check out the app. It's KKS Magic. And then I know Lifepro has a membership portal that you can use as well. So as you can see, I didn't show this earlier, but you can actually pedal backwards. And the intensity does change going backwards, right? No, so if you're wanting to work backwards, if you're wanting to work on the back of the legs, and it's truly total body. But if you're wanting to work all parts of the legs and you don't feel it going forward, switch it up. You know, again, if you've had a total knee replacement and you can't get into your physical therapist more than you're supposed to, or you have graduated and you need more visits, then by all means, get yourself a VeloCycle because it has so many different features and added options. The other bikes have, again, the resistance bands right here, so you can do resistance bands here. But if you're wanting truly the total body workout that packs a punch, where you can go for a ride, go for a little gallop, going backwards for a gallop, right? Or we go forwards for a gallop. I don't know too many horses that gallop backwards, but hey, it's all about having fun and finding the magic in ourselves, right? Oh, yes. So I'm already starting to wear out of breath again. Heart rate's up. Okay. I'm going to take a look and see if we have a winner. Again, super excited and thankful for all of you to participate. And again, if you don't win something today or in this series, chime in for Debbie. She's coming in right after I disconnect too. And we all feature a little bit of different topics, different demonstrations. We all have our own little niche. So, whew, yeah, out of breath. Don't have my heart rate monitor on, so I don't know what my heart rate is, but that is a feature that I do keep track of through my zone or through Polar. I've always used a heart rate monitor so I can keep track of how my efforts are paying out. Okay, yes. So again, until I get a winner from Lauren, make sure and let me know. What are you doing to have fun? What are you doing to find luck in your world? And what are you going to do to make yourself happy in using our product at home? If there is a product that we already have, that you already have, that makes you happy, feel free to put that into the comment section. I'm curious to know if you have a platform or if you have another bike, what is it that makes you chime? Is it the happy that it makes you, or because it does release happy hormone? It's about dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins when we do our exercises, or is it because you get the pain relief, or is it because you feel like you have purpose? So a lot of different things. Oh my gosh! Now I come to think of it, I don't know that I actually mentioned the price because I got too excited about talking about how happy life should be. $199.95 today. Totally spaced that. Thank you for asking. 242 pounds max capacity. The actual bike weighs 56 pounds. The MSRP on this, which is what they suggest manufacturer's selling price, is $350, $349.99. We normally sell this bike for $259.99, but today and for a limited time only, $199.95. And there for a while, we used to have it for 2 weeks at a time. They have, shifted in direction and making it a little bit more spontaneous and random, so that you, aren't relying on that 2 week window. So some weeks, it's $199.95, and just out of nowhere, you'll see it go up in price. And a lot of it has to do with demand because they only have so many of these in stock, and they're really hard to get manufactured and in because of the way the world is working right now. So you don't want to delay. You want to make sure and get it started because again, it's super fun. I don't know how many laughs again that I've actually had on this bike with our filming crew and with my own clients here in the gym. I have my people who have been testing some of this stuff for a little while, but it's optimal for strength training and cardio all at the same time. I can feel my muscles. You heard my heart rate going up. But the exclusive design for this in bringing the upper and the lower together gives your entire body a galloping experience like you're riding on a horse. And it's accessing stimulation and toning to your entire body, your calves, your thighs, your glutes, your abs, your chest, your back, and your arms. and it's super quiet. We've got 8 different levels of resistance, 7 different modes of metric measuring on the control panel that has a backlit feature. And it does fold, and it's got wheels. Now, it doesn't fold completely flat like some of our other bikes do, and this one does weigh 56 pounds. But for $199.95, you're getting a lot bundled into that price for a great workout. So love, love, love. Is it easy to transfer? Okay, so that's a good question. It is not easy to transfer if you're loading it in and out of a car unless you've got a van or a hatchback. It is heavy because, again, it's 56 pounds and it's 40 by 56 by 24. But is it easy to move back and forth? I would not want to rely on my grandmother to have to move this from one room to the other, but it's not as bad as you might consider when it comes down to transferring it from one room to another. It just, if you have carpet, it doesn't shift on carpet very well. So here's what I would actually suggest. Excuse me. Here's what I would suggest. If you can go to your local hardware store and buy the movers, the little mover discs that go underneath of the 4 points on that make contact with the floor, and you can actually slide it across carpet without having to change the size of it. And you can also do that on hard floors. If you've got somebody who's elderly that they're wanting to pull it out of a corner and slide it back into a corner, I would put it on a set of disc movers, but make sure when you get ready to use it that you remove those disc movers out from underneath the corners so that it actually uses, it's got little non-slip textured grippers so that you can level it out so that you don't feel like you're unsteady or uneven. So you don't want to use those sliders when you're actually on the bike or not comfortable. But if you're trying to move it from one place to another, and if I had to move it across several different rooms with carpet, I'd be getting a set of those movers, sliding them under there, and it's piece of cake. Super easy to do. Okay. Oh, Quincy, that was so cool. They've got a room that's dedicated to wellness, and they call it the Zen Den. Awesome. I am hopeful to be in your Zen Den, spiritually speaking, via video from time to time, if you're interested in that. I always like to be in everybody's den. Pain relief makes you happy. That is so awesome, Deb. And I have the Swift, and it is fun. The Swift is their treadmill, if I remember right. Yes, I think it's a treadmill, so that's awesome. The Oculux for relaxation. Oh my goodness, the Oculux is amazing. I actually have a bunch of them here at my gym because we use them for my clients when they get in the Axis air compression boots. We put the eye relaxers on at the same time, so it almost looks like they're like in a state of relaxation in a spaceship with these big legs and these big goggles, and they're just like almost like they're floating and feeling really good. That is one of our most popular products around here, and it does have back support. If you're wanting to load it in the SUV every 4 weeks or so, that shouldn't be a problem. Definitely should not be a problem. But I will tell you, the heaviest part of this unit is this right here. It is the flywheel. The flywheel is really heavy. That's where the bulk of the heaviness comes from, this one. And again, this one is kind of a challenge to fold up because of the nature. We actually had to play around with this a little bit. So I promise you, you want to make sure to take your bottle of water out. Yeah, so once you fold it up to here, then there'll be a feature. There's a video on this on Facebook or on YouTube, but there's a pull pin here at the bottom. You're going to pull that out, and it actually comes up much higher when it's all put together, but I don't have the push pin pulled out of it. And so just be careful when you're using that push pin that you're careful. Woo! It's a workout just getting that back to right. There's a pin right here on the front, and once you remove that, it just boop, goes up. But I leave it there because you have to pull the bike inward together, and it's got a pump on the bottom of it that gives it its resistance with the flywheel. And so I just haven't demonstrated that to you yet. So it wouldn't be too bad. Yes, Delani, yes, that would be awesome. You could actually take your red light therapy belt, wrap it around you, and ride the bike at the same time. That is totally doable. Just make sure that you tuck your battery pack in the actual unit so that you don't get all the cords mixed up. Oh, I love the BioHeal. Okay, We have a winner. Doodle 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 doodle. We have a winner. Doodle 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 doodle. I know, like, gotta be all happy today. It's St. Patrick's Day. Okay, and the winner is Annette Estrada. Annette Sison, Sison, Estrada. Annette, you're the winner of the VeloCycle today with Amber. So if you could shoot a message to Lifepro via DM, whether it's through Messenger, or if you need to text me your information and I can send it through them, you can text me your information 317-446-7971, name, address, email, phone number, and I will send it to our backstage crew, or you can send it yourself via a message through Messenger and just put in the comment section that you were the proud winner today of the VeloCycle on launch day, St. Patrick's Day. Awesome. So I wish all of you had sound because I'd so love to interchange with you. So if you decide in the upcoming week that you want to do some live interchange with Amber, we do live Zoom in my building 3 days a week, 3 different workouts using Lifepro products. Definitely don't hesitate to look for that app, KKSMAGIK or Amber Kivett, and we can help you with using your different Lifepro products for the greatest outcome in finding finding the magic and superhero in yourself. But also, if you have questions about certain products, a lot of people contact me and ask me, okay, these are my goals. Which is the best product to buy? If you have questions about that, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to me via Messenger, or you can text me as well. It might take me a while to respond back because I get a lot of those messages every day, but I'm here to help you. And as an employee with Lifepro, it's about making sure that Lifepro is able to serve you the best way possible so that we can inspire and motivate you to be your best version of yourself possible, because you've got this. We know you can do it, and we're here to help you as a resource. And we're beyond grateful that you use our products and your home to be able to save yourself some money and maximize the outcomes of your health for a better tomorrow. So you guys have a wonderful day. Have a little happy. Doodle, 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 happy. Make sure and have happy today because it's St. Patrick's Day. Bye.